Welcome back to Saymore, everyone. We are in season 3. And this season, by the way, I'm Kim. I'm sure you know that by now, the founder of MIE MIND and your host for Saymore. In this season, we're going straight into myths, fad diets, what doesn't work, and what most certainly is going to work for you with women and weight. And on my first guest in this season, it's a pleasure to host and welcome Nicci Clark. Nicci Clark is the founder of Nourish. I love that name, and I'm going to tell you, she's going to tell us everything about it. It's the world's first fresh soup in a microwavable full recycle bottle. Now, there are so many words that are there that is so interesting because it's fresh, it's soup, it's microwavable, and it's recyclable. How interesting. Nicci, welcome to Saymore.
Thank you very much for having me. It's lovely to be here.
Well, give us a little backstory into how did Nourish come into its existence?
So my background is in health. So health is absolutely in my DNA. That's why it's so lovely to be on here speaking about a topic that's close to my heart. So I have a background in critical care. I was a critical care nurse at one of London's very busy hospitals. I'm also a qualified reflexologist and have a background in nutrition. So, and I started in 2010 a fresh food delivery company before Mindful Chef, HelloFresh, where it was breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack to your door. And so my fresh soups were coming from that. So it was finding out why people wanted to go. It wasn't a diet, it was just eating healthily, not snacking on the sugar. And then from that, everyone wanted my fresh soups when they finished the plan. And it was then the light bulb moment. I had Downton Abbey, a lot of celebrities on it. And it was like, why has no one done, I want soup in a bottle, a grab and go, it's easy. And soup is very, very healthy and nutrient dense. So Nourish was born. This bottle didn't exist in the world. So I invented the world's first fresh soup in a microwavable grab and go bottle that you can have on the go, have it hot, have it cold, but it's all fresh, good for you ingredients in there.
And I think that's wonderful. Congratulations, on moving and transitioning. But it's so wonderful that you're saying all these things, and the grab and go is so easy because more than often soup is one, I don't know,
in a bowl.
In a bowl that you can put in everything, but nobody has the time. Mm-hmm. And then the grab and go makes health, putting all nutrition so easily accessible.
Absolutely. I mean, soup is one of the best things. You talk about weight loss. So soups are nutrient dense, so the body doesn't have to work really hard to absorb it. It's absorbed into because it's water based, and it's a fluid, so it doesn't have to spend hours. So say a meat is 6 hours to break down. The soups is 30 minutes in your gut, and you are getting the nutrition fast, but you aren't having that sugar spike. So juice, you get a big sugar spike and then a drop. With soups, you don't. And it's with natural, good fiber, good vitamins, and easy for the body to absorb.
Nicci, tell us a little bit more based on the topic, women and weight. What are the things that we're doing wrong? And what can one learn from, your wisdom, your expertise, your years of being there, done that, and that they can take home right after the session?
Okay. So I think the biggest thing, we talk about this pandemic, it's been a big wake-up call for everybody's health. And we know that obesity will affect your health in this pandemic. However, there has been the biggest silent pandemic that has been going on for years, which is type 2 diabetes. This is not your DNA. This is your dinner. So,
Wow.
yeah. And you know, in the Middle East, it has one of the highest incidences of type 2 diabetes, which is associated with obesity, associated with also, you know, problems with, you know, cardiac failure, with cardiac disease, high blood pressure. So weight loss, it is about eating the right things at the right times. It is not about starving yourself. And it is, you cannot cheat exercise. It should be in a both. You have one life and live it well. So my tips, you want to balance out the blood sugar. You do not want to be having these peaks and troughs. That's why soup's so good, because it fills you up. It's naturally low in fat, and it doesn't give you a sugar spike, followed by a sugar crash, followed by craving a carbohydrate, more sugar. So breakfast lights the fire, and you want a slow energy release breakfast. So a porridge or something that fills you up, keeps you going, and just not craving, you know, a Danish or something that just is going to give you that sugar spike an hour later, flooding your body with insulin. You want something that just is a steady. So that's why my go-to, whether it's hot or cold, is a porridge with fruit. You know, that's a slow release, followed then by something that is nutrient dense but low in fat. A soup at lunch with a pitta, you know, with a whole meal pitta. You want to get your fibers in and get stuff that's filling you up. Dinner, you know, lovely. If you're going to have, you know, the spices, chili is such a good spice. It speeds up your metabolism. You know, it gives you a good hit. But have that instead of going for you know, a white rice, or go for a brown rice. Go for something that isn't going to give you these sugars. Yeah. And do not eat late at night, because your body wants to rest.
Right.
Do you know, you know, and I know with you know, out in the Middle East, people eat really late, don't they? I mean, what time are you having your dinner, Kim?
We eat at 7:30. It's been for years that, you know, 7:30 and it's like the shop's closed. Kitchen shut. Because again, in many parts of UAE, especially in schools or families where you have kids, school starts so early, Nicci. So we're waking up at 5:30, 6 in the morning to get them onto the bus at 6:10. So we shut shop early.
And that's the thing, you know, it's eating, it's not starving yourself. It's not having these slimming shakes or quick fixes. You can't cheat.
Could you tell us what becomes the long-term effects of getting into these quick fixes?
Oh my God. So quick fixes. So again, if you're starving yourself, your body doesn't recognize that, you know, it is literally putting itself in a famine situation. So you slow your metabolism down because it's wanting to keep, you know, the energy. So it doesn't recognize that it's not in a famine situation. So you mustn't have all this starving. You want to light the fire and keep it burning. So quick fix. Yes. Exercise 15, 20 minutes, you know, walking, you know, doing some exercise at least 4 times a week. Get the fires burning. Do not starve yourself. That slows your metabolism, puts you in a crash situation. And then when you eat again, because you will go back to, your body will then hold on to it. Don't do that.
Right. What is the connection of, why is it so difficult for women to lose weight versus, our counterpart males?
They have a higher muscle density. So
Mm.
it's just our makeup. And that, but that's not to say that we need to, work our muscles, especially in older age, when your bone density gets less. So the most important thing for women who've gone through the menopause is to start lifting weights. Weights. You want to keep the weights. You also want to keep the weights because it burns the calories. So our men have a higher muscle ratio than women. We have a higher storage of fat. That's the makeup. But it is so important, I think, that you stay away from the heavily processed, the high sugar, heavily processed foods, or have a treat day.
Having said, processed foods and the high sugar ones, within your range of soups, Nicci, which are the best for women at different stages of the day or their monthly cycle? And are there some that we can pack and send with our kids to school?
They are really good. Some have higher protein, so really good after a workout.
Mm-hmm.
So our energy, high pea protein, or the dal has a really good higher protein than, say, our immunity soup. They are all low fat. They are all low in sugar. These are natural sugars. With children, all of them work well. They're a good snack.
Mm-hmm.
And the kids can actually, that they're getting, and they won't have a sugar spike. You can plump it out with lots of other things. You can plump it out with some complex carbohydrates. So pittas or things like that. You can plump it out with some protein, extra protein, so some cheese, or these are the things, or some chicken. We call it pimp our soups, where you add whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Our soups can be used as a sauce. You can add some rice, you can add some chicken, you can add fish, you can add, or that your kids can have these in the day, or you pick them up from school. There it is in the back of the car. They can have it. It's a really versatile, but that they're getting their vitamins, their fiber, and good nutrition, and not a sugar spike.
So,
but they're all good.
I'm sure you've had, when you started off, before you moved to just Re-Nourish and you were doing all the meal plans.
Yeah.
What is people's immediate mindset shift? Because very often we've all looked at a soup as just, the stuff you have, and you kind of like, you're just warming up your belly before you put the main stuff. So how does people's mindset, how did you work around changing that mindset and saying, hey, a soup will be just enough?
Yeah. If you want to lose weight, then you have to connect and listen to your body. And that is when you're full, and sometimes you can be hungry, but you're not hungry. It's giving you that signal you're hungry, but you're thirsty. So it is having your 2 to 3 liters of water a day, keeping your body hydrated. It is about, listening, and not, I go back to sugar. The more you give sugar to the body, the more it craves it. So and what I learned was a real learning in Nourished when I was doing the meal plans was there a lot of people addicted to sugar. And once you got off that addiction to that white sugar, then
And that goes back to every other cultural upbringing, because it's like, hey, good job in school. Here's a little candy. Here's a little cake. Here's some, sweet. From where I come, we've got a range of different sweets that we would have. So bringing that mindset shift from a parent, to their family is, I think that's a bigger shift more than actually going and picking up the soup, right?
Yes, it is. It is. It's getting yourself off the white, as we call it, the white stuff. And it is more addictive than some of the grade A, drugs. It is so addictive, sugar. But it's getting yourself, natural sugars are fine because it doesn't give you that huge spike, which then your body craves. It craves that feeling. When you eat a sugary bar, suddenly you're whizzing, but then you're crashing and your body wants to, you get to 40, you keep doing that with your pancreas shuts down, and that's when you get type 2 diabetes.
Wow.
And that's, it's exhausted. You want, so my biggest thing for people, I think, is to get off sugar. Get off sugar. Look at the amount of sugar you are eating in a day. Get off it. You'll lose weight. No doubts about it. Absolutely. But
my ears are still ringing with your pancreas are going to slow down.
It'll stop producing insulin. And you will then be a type 2 diabetic. And we're looking at the stats in the UAE. It is frightening.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
Nicci, that is so informative, and I hope it shakes everyone up as much as I'm right now. Tell me, what is the effect of, the coolest thing everyone does, that don't talk to me till I have coffee in my body? How bad is coffee?
Coffee is a stimulant, but it's a natural, caffeine is a natural stimulant. And I only have one coffee a day. I have a really good coffee. Again, if you're, too much caffeine, it really affects the body's endocrine, system as well, because you're speeding up. It speeds up the heart. It speeds up everything. It's not good. It's not good. I just, at night, a caffeine. Do not have too much caffeine. Do not. It's not good for the heart. So coffee is fine if you're having 1 or 2 cups. More than that can increase the blood pressure, increase the heart. So it's a good as a first thing in the morning. Have a great coffee and leave it alone. Nothing after 12. Nothing after 12, because the more you
get to love what they love, and then there's just the guideline. When is enough?
Yeah. One good coffee a day. But if you've got, blood pressure problems, cut it out. If you've got any heart problems, it's not good. So.
Nicci, would you like to share any, story that's so close to your heart, whether it's yours or someone or a client that actually shifted their life, not just their eating habits, but how it changed them personally when they moved on to the healthier, re-nourish options?
Really interestingly, when I started Nourished, and people would write to me or phone me, it was very hands-on. And this guy had started, we'd had a big chat, and he he was overweight. He was actually obese. So he was in that, had a BMI over 30. He was feeling very, very lazy, very sluggish, exhausted. When he got out of bed, he was exhausted. So we got him on this plan, which was, breakfast, then lunch, which was a soup, then a healthy snack, and then a good dinner. No peaks and troughs. Within 3 months, he had lost 18 kilograms. Yeah. He was so full of energy. He felt he got his life back. And that's the thing, if you're eating late at night or you're eating the wrong things, in the morning, you're going to wake up, you'll be tired.
Yeah, sluggish.
Yes, because...
And not just physically, but mentally. You're not productive, you don't get the ideas, you can't follow up. It's like you literally dragging. And now we're on that point, Nicci, sometimes when I'm sitting by the marina and just, going on a walk or just watching people, there are so many young kids that don't even pick their feet and walk.
Wow.
Yeah, you've probably noticed it yourself, that they'll just be like dragging your feet. That's probably the sugars, the croissants, the excessive entertainment only through food and snacking.
Yeah, and it's having that connection. And when I speak to, we're very involved, we have like a SOUPERSTAR community, so people write to us. And when you're tired, when you're waking up and you're still tired, that is your nutrition. Unless there's something underlying, because if you haven't got a connection as well, really thinking about what you are eating, and this is all linked, your mouth is linked to your body. Sometimes I think there's a disconnect, isn't there, between people. They aren't really thinking, about what they eat or how it makes them feel. And if you're waking up tired because you're eating late at night, then your body, instead of being able to recover and rest, it is breaking down that meal.
Yeah.
It is then absolutely, so it's spending all its where it should be rest and recovery and repair. It is breaking down. It is flooding your body with, glucose. It is then your pancreas is working. It is, digesting your gut. You wake up in the morning, you're like, I'm exhausted. Well, it's no surprise. And then you hit the coffee, and then you crave something sugary, and there we go.
And then that cycle becomes such a vicious cycle till you're forced into having a deeper look.
40, type 2 diabetes.
I know you're saying it like, that is the natural progression, but it just sounds so scary.
Yeah.
But that is a fact. I remember going to one of the hospitals out here, you must have seen it, and they said that this is the bigger issue. The lifestyle, the eating lifestyle, the sitting lifestyle, all of that is all leading up to, the bigger issue.
And we used to be, so think back, hundreds of years ago, we used to be hunters.
Yes.
We were so active. We were out hunting. We were then eating what we hunted. There wasn't this process. Now we are not hunting. We are not exercising. We are sitting at our desks. We aren't doing anything. And then we are eating heavily fast food, processed foods. Instead of cooking from scratch, we are buying 3-minute meals that are heavily processed. That's why Renourish, yes, it is a fast, it is a convenient food, but there is no sugar. There is nothing to hide. There is no nasties in it. Renourish is a bottle of goodness, you know, but we've got to go back to that mindset. We're not hunting.
What is the relevance and the impact of having, when you spoke about disconnection, of one being disconnected with their emotions?
I think, you know, listen how your body sends you messages every minute of every day. Every second it's talking to you, your body. You've got to listen to it. You've got to absolutely listen to it. And I don't think, and again, going through your emotions, yes, people eat when they're happy, when they're sad. There's always, we know, celebrations or, you know, or have this because you're sad, or have this because you're happy, or have, or it's a reward.
And we've seen that, you know, every time when you're in college, you keep looking at the serials, you keep looking at movies that like, oh, breakup equals to a tub of ice cream. Right? A birthday is this big, massive 2-kilo cakes. It's just so massively inbuilt into our subconscious that food is kind of that solution to everything.
And our culture has got fast. So we only spend 47 minutes in a day preparing and eating food. 47 minutes. Our ancestors didn't spend 47 minutes on all their meals. I mean, that's madness. So it is eating the right. I know we lead busy lives and we can't go back to that, you know, lifestyle of, you know, we have changed, you know, as we've progressed as a nation, but our bodies still need natural foods. So don't be going for those convenient or high sugar, high salt, processed. Body won't thank you for it.
But thank you for bringing us that message. And thank you for bringing Renourish, which is I'm so excited to try it, Nicci. I'm going to go and check it. It's right below my building. Thought I'm going to connect with you right after the call and say, where do I order my soup? Please tell everyone listening and watching us, for if they're in the UAE, where do they find and make their order? And if they're any other part of the world, where can they get Renourish?
So Renourish is now in Spinney's, Waitress, Choithrams in the UAE. And but if you're not in the UAE, we're launching into Australia in September. We're also in Hong Kong, Qatar, UK, and launching into the Netherlands and Germany in September, October. So it is a sort of global revolution as Renourish, but it
amazing.
is. I mean, soup's been around for centuries.
But the interesting thing is that while soups have been around for centuries, when you think of it, you're thinking that, oh, I've got to go and buy a carrot and a beet and beans and this and that, and you're like, okay, let's just see what's at home. You'll just get the packet once and then empty it out and boil it. So between these two worlds, you've created another bridge of fresh and accessible. So congratulations and thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. So Renourish, it is as though you've made it at home. There isn't, it's just on a larger scale. There's no nasties at all. But yeah, so do check us out on Instagram. We're on Renourish_soup. Or you can look at us on the website, which is www.renourish.co.uk.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Nicci, for joining us. For everyone listening or watching, you can go to YouTube and actually see us have this conversation. All the information, the website, the Instagram is going to be in the show notes, both on YouTube and the podcast. And before you go, Nicci, the podcast is called Saymore. What do you think people should be saying more about?
About their health. One life. Live it well.
Hello. You have just one life to live. I think it's a very millennial thing, trying to catch up. But
Yeah, yeah. And food is medicine. You know, two things. Food is medicine. Better, you know, to really prevention is better than treatment.
always is.
Yeah.
Always is. Thank you so much, Nicci. Thank you, everyone,
you.
joining. Until the next time, eat healthy. And now you have no excuse not to do that. Live a big life and say more of awesome stuff. Bye for now.
Bye.